Listen, I know some of y'all think you can spot a bad person from a mile away. You think it's always the loud one, the obvious one, the one screaming their dirt out in the open. Nah, the real dangerous ones. They smile in your face while they cut you from the inside out. They ain't wearing no warning label. They walking like they belong there. They talk like they care, and before you know it, you're bleeding out and don't even know where the wound came from. I'm telling you, bad people don't always kick down the door. Sometimes they get the keys from you. Sometimes they get invited in. They learn your moves, your weaknesses, your dreams, and then they use them against you. They ain't just after what you got. They after control. They after the power to decide how you feel, how you think, how you move. See, I learned the hard way. Bad people don't always come with a gun in their hand. Sometimes they come with a smile, a favor, let me help you. That's really, let me own you. And by the time you see it, it's already too late. This ain't about being paranoid. It's about being smart. You gotta know the signs before they take root in your life. Because once they do, I always say, pulling is like ripping out poison that's wrapped around your soul. You don't wait for the fire to burn your house down before you check the wiring. And you don't wait for a bad person to ruin your life before you learn how to spot him. So today, I'm gonna break it down for you. Not the fairy tale version, not the sugar-coated version. I'm talking the truth, how they move, how they think, and how to see them coming before they even make that first play. The first thing you gotta understand is that bad people are masters at hiding in plain sight. They're not walking around with neon signs over their heads saying, I'm here to hurt you. No, they're smooth. They blend in. They know how to make themselves look like the exact thing you think you need at the moment you're most vulnerable. They don't just show up. They study you first. They watch. They listen. They find the cracks in your armor. And I always say, and then they slide right in without you even noticing. You ever had someone in your life who seemed too good to be true? They always say the right thing. They always got your back. They always seem to understand exactly how you feel. Yeah, that's not always a blessing. It can be a setup. See, bad people have this way of giving you exactly what you're missing. So you'll start to trust them fast. And once they get that trust, they own a piece of you. They know you'll lower your guard. You'll share more. You'll give more. And now, they got everything they need to start working their game on you. They operate like predators. A lion doesn't charge at the strongest zebra in the herd. It watches for the one that's limping, the one that's distracted, the one that's alone. Bad people do the same thing. They're scanning for weaknesses. Not because they want to help, but because that's where they can get in and take over. You might think you're in control because they ain't showing you their teeth yet. But trust me, they've already got you in their sights. And here's the thing. They're patient. They don't rush the process. They'll sit there for months, even years, playing the role you expect them to play. They'll act like they're your biggest supporter, your truest friend, the one person you can count on when everything else falls apart. They'll be the shoulder you cry on, the one who tells you, don't worry, I got you. And all the while, they're making mental notes. Every tear, every secret, every little piece of yourself you hand over. They're storing it away for when it benefits them most. It's not just about what they take. It's about how they make you dependent on them. They'll create little situations where you have to rely on them. They'll solve problems they probably helped create. They'll be the hero of a crisis you didn't even know was manufactured. And the whole time you're thinking, wow, this person always comes through for me. But really, you've been trapped in a cycle they control from start to finish. Another thing, you'll notice bad people are real good at mirroring you. They'll reflect your energy, your language, your values. So you start to feel like you found someone who just gets you. But that's not connection, it's a tactic. They're building a false sense of safety. You start thinking, this person is just like me. And once they've got you in that mindset, you stop questioning them. You stop paying attention to the little red flags because you've already decided they're on your team. Pay attention to those flags. Bad people can't hide their true nature forever. Even the best actors slip up. Maybe it's a flash of anger that's way out of proportion. Maybe it's a joke that cuts a little too deep. Maybe it's the way they talk about other people when those people aren't around. Those are the cracks in the mask. But here's the trap. By the time you notice those cracks, you've already invested too much in them. You'll tell yourself it's just a bad day, or you misunderstood. You'll give them excuses because you don't want to believe you were wrong about them. And that's exactly how they keep you hooked. Bad people thrive on your hesitation. They know the hardest thing in the world for most people is admitting they've been played. They count on you not wanting to feel foolish. They count on you being more concerned with protecting your pride than protecting your peace. So you stay a little longer, and the longer you stay, the more they take. You also got to understand that bad people love to create confusion. They'll tell you one thing and then do another. They'll act one way with you and another way around others. They'll make you doubt your own memory, your own judgment. They'll flip the script so quick that you start questioning if you're the problem. This is intentional. If they can make you doubt yourself, then they can control the narrative. And if they control the narrative, they control you. Don't ignore how they treat other people either. If you see them being fake, two-faced, manipulative with others, you're not special, you're just next. How they treat the people they don't need tells you who they really are. You can't think you're immune because you've got history or connection with them. If betrayal is in their nature, it's only a matter of time before it's your turn. And here's one more thing. You'll notice bad people are allergic to accountability. They can't stand to be called out. The moment you point out their behavior, they'll flip it back on you. They'll play the victim. They'll make you feel guilty for even bringing it up. Or they'll downplay it like you're overreacting. They want you second, guessing yourself so you'll drop it and move on. That's why the first sign you need to pay attention to is the one you see before they think you're looking. The way they move when they think no one's watching. The way they talk about people who trust them. The little inconsistencies in their words and actions. That's the truth peeking through. And if you catch it early enough, you can save yourself a whole lot of pain later. Don't fall for the image. Don't get so wrapped up in what you want them to be that you ignore what they really are. A bad person in your life isn't just a nuisance. They're a threat. They'll drain your energy, they'll block your growth, and they'll keep you from becoming who you're supposed to be. You can't afford to keep people like that close. If you don't learn to spot them, you'll keep attracting them. You'll keep repeating the same cycle. And I always say, wondering why you keep ending up in the same situations. It's because you're not recognizing the pattern early enough to break it. I'm telling you now, the first step to protecting your peace, your energy, and your future is learning to see the signs before they have a chance to get comfortable in your life. The moment you spot it, the moment you feel it in your gut, don't ignore it. Trust yourself. Protect yourself. Move before they do. Because by the time they show you who they really are, it's already too late to undo the damage. All right, let's get into it. You ever notice how some people, the ones who end up hurting you the most, don't come at you with horns on their head? They don't walk in looking like villains from the start. Nah, they come in smiling, laughing, acting like they're there to build with you. That's the trick. Bad people know how to wear a mask. And the crazy thing is, most of the time, we're the ones handing them the mask without even knowing it. We give them trust before they've earned it. We give them space in our lives before they've proven they deserve it. And that's when they get you. Not because they're stronger, but because you let your guard down too quick. See, a lot of folks confuse being kind with being blind. They think just because they've got a good heart, everybody else must be like them. But let me tell you, that's the first way bad people creep in. They take advantage of your good intentions. They read you like a book. Figure out what makes you tick, and then use it to get close. And once they're close enough, they start to pull strings. They might start small, testing boundaries, pushing just enough to see what you'll let slide. You excuse it once, they push further. Before you know it, you're carrying the weight of their mess while they're just sitting back, watching you struggle. But here's what you've got to understand. Bad people are patient. They don't have to hit you all at once. They know how to drip feed the poison. A little lie here, a little manipulation there. They study your patterns. They know when you're tired, when you're emotional, when you're most likely to say yes instead of no. Every time you choose peace over confrontation, they gain more ground. It's like letting weeds grow in a garden. The longer you ignore them, the harder they are to pull out. And you can't always spot them from the way they treat you. Sometimes the way they act towards other people tells you everything you need to know. Pay attention to how they talk about people when those people ain't around. Are they always tearing somebody down? Are they quick to blame everyone else when something goes wrong? That's a red flag. If they can disrespect someone who trusted them before, what makes you think they won't do it to you when the time comes? One of the slickest tricks bad people pull is making you feel like you owe them. They'll do something for you, but it's never free. There's always a catch, always a tab they're keeping in the back of their mind. And when the time is right, they cash it in, usually when you're least able to say no. It's not help if it comes with a chain. Real love, real loyalty doesn't need receipts, but bad people, they keep track. They make sure you feel trapped, like you can't walk away without looking ungrateful. That's how they control you. They also know how to twist the truth just enough to keep you guessing. They'll never give you the full story, just pieces, just enough to keep you wondering if maybe you're overreacting. They want you doubting your own instincts, because the moment you start questioning yourself, they've got power over you. That's why you see people stay in toxic relationships for years, not because they can't leave, but because they've been convinced that they're the problem. Bad people feed off that confusion. And let's be real, sometimes we let them stay because we don't want to admit we were wrong about them. You might have hyped them up to your friends, defended them when others warned you, maybe even put your reputation on the line for them. So when they start showing their true colors, it's easier to cover for them than to face the fact that you were fooled. But here's the thing, pride will keep you in situations that your spirit is begging you to leave. And every day you stay, you lose a little more of yourself. You got to start paying attention to the small shifts. Bad people reveal themselves in patterns. It's not always about the big betrayals. Sometimes it's about the way they always take but never give. The way they expect you to show up for them but disappear when you need them. The way their words sound sweet but their actions tell a different story. That's where you catch them. Not in what they say, but in what they consistently do. The truth is, the faster you learn to trust actions over words, the quicker you'll spot them. Stop letting charm blind you. Stop letting shared history hold you hostage. Just because someone's been around for years doesn't mean they deserve a place in your future. And just because you love them doesn't mean they're good for you. At the end of the day, the most dangerous thing about bad people is not what they do to you. It's what they turn you into if you let them. They can make you bitter, make you closed off, make you question every good thing that comes your way. But you don't have to let them have that kind of power. You can learn, you can grow, and you can set boundaries so strong that no one can cross them without losing access to you. Because the only thing worse than letting a bad person in is letting them stay long enough to change who you are. All right, let's talk about this one, because this is the one that'll catch you slipping the fastest. Bad people will always show you who they are when the spotlight ain't on them. Anybody can act right when they're being watched. Anybody can play polite when there's something to gain. But the real version of a person shows up when there's nothing in it for them. And bad people, they got a whole different script for those moments. You see, the thing about bad people is they're masters at performance. They know how to put on a show in public. They shake hands, smile, act like they're all about unity and respect. They'll be the loudest ones praising loyalty, but the first to break it when it's inconvenient. The thing is, they think nobody's paying attention to the quiet moments. But that's where the truth lies. You want to know if somebody's solid. Watch how they treat people who can't do nothing for them. Watch how they treat a waiter, the security guard, or someone struggling. That's when you'll see the mask slip. Bad people have this instinct. They'll show respect only to people they think they need. Everybody else is disposable to them. And the crazy thing, they'll justify it to themselves. They'll tell you it's just business, or they don't have time to deal with irrelevant people. But here's the truth. If they can step on someone to move forward, they will. And when it's your turn to be in their way, they'll do the same to you. And you can catch it early if you stop letting words blind you. Bad people talk big about values, but their values are like water. They shift to fit the situation. They'll promise loyalty, but that loyalty's on a timer. They'll say they got your back, but only while it benefits them. The moment you stop being useful or stop agreeing with them, you'll feel that cold distance creep in. Suddenly, the calls slow down. The texts take longer to get answered. They're too busy for you now. That's not a coincidence. That's their real self showing. Another thing about bad people, they're great at planting seeds of doubt, but never in a way that makes them look guilty. They'll say something like, I'm not saying you can't trust, so I'm just saying be careful. Or, I don't know if they're telling you the full story. It's slick. It's never direct. It's always just enough to make you question your other relationships. Why? Because the more isolated you are, the more control they have over you. They want to be your main source of information, your main source of validation. And once they get that, you're in their pocket without even realizing it. But here's what's dangerous. Sometimes it's not even the lies they tell, it's the truths they leave out. They'll give you a version of the story that's technically not false, but it's designed to push you toward their agenda. They don't want you making decisions based on full knowledge. They want you making decisions based on the picture they painted for you. That's how they guide your moves without ever having to take the blame if it goes wrong. And the more you trust them, the deeper you'll fall into it. You'll start thinking they're the only ones who get you. You'll start relying on them more and more until one day you realize your perspective isn't even yours anymore. It's theirs. That's when they've got you exactly where they want you. Because once they own your perspective, they own your choices. Now, here's the part most people don't want to admit. Sometimes we see the signs and still ignore them. Why? Because the bad person is giving us something we want in the moment. It might be attention, opportunities, validation, or even just a sense of belonging. And that's how they hook you. They give just enough to make you feel special while keeping you dependent on that supply. The second you start pulling away, they'll give you a little extra to reel you back in. It's a cycle, and if you're not careful, it can last for years. The truth is, bad people operate like chess players. They're always thinking a few moves ahead. They're not reacting to what's happening now. They're positioning themselves for what's coming next. If they know there's a situation down the road where they might need leverage over you, they'll start setting it up now. That's why you can never let your guard down completely. no matter how much history you have with someone. Time doesn't make a snake harmless. It just makes it better at hiding. And don't get it twisted. Bad people don't have to be loud about their moves. Some of the worst ones are quiet, calm, even polite. They're not yelling in your face. They're working in the background. While you're busy thinking everything's cool, they're lining up their next play. That's why when the betrayal comes, it feels like it came out of nowhere. But if you look back, the clues were always there. You just weren't looking for them. One of the best ways to protect yourself is to test consistency. Anybody can be nice for a week. Anybody can have your back when it's easy. But when things get uncomfortable, when you disagree, when there's nothing in it for them, that's when you see their true colors. A bad person can't fake character forever. The cracks will show. You just got to be willing to see them and act on them before it's too late. Because at the end of the day, the people who really care about you won't need a reason to treat you right. They won't need leverage. They won't need you to be useful. And they won't need an audience to act with respect. But bad people, everything they do has a reason. And that reason usually leads back to their own benefit. If you remember that, you'll save yourself from a lot of pain. Here's the thing people don't like to admit. Most of the time, the danger isn't that bad people are too smart. The real danger is that you underestimate how far they're willing to go. You think you understand the game, but you're only looking at the surface while they've been digging tunnels underneath you for months, maybe years. Bad people don't just wake up one morning and decide to betray you. They plant the seeds early, water them slowly, and wait for the perfect moment to strike. And by the time you feel that knife in your back, they've already had the exit route planned. See, the reason they can pull it off is because they don't play by the rules you expect. You think there's a line no one will cross. They've already stepped over it, erased it, and drawn a new one somewhere further out. That's why they can smile in your face while setting you up. That's why they can share a meal with you, laugh with you, maybe even pray with you, and still be plotting your downfall. To them, it's not personal. It's just strategy. They'll sell you out if it moves them one square ahead. And you might be thinking, I'd see it coming. But no, that's what makes them dangerous. They don't move like amateurs. They don't make loud, messy plays. They work in silence. They collect information on you, learn your habits, figure out what makes you tick. They'll study what triggers you, what motivates you, and where you feel weakest. They'll hold onto that knowledge, not to help you, but to use it when the timing's right. That's why you can't just judge people by how they treat you when things are good. You got to think about what they'd do if the opportunity came for them to get ahead at your expense. Bad people are patient. They'll wait you out. They'll buy their time because they know that in life, everybody has moments when they're vulnerable, when you're tired, distracted, or dealing with something big. That's when they'll make their move, because they know you won't see it coming. And the most dangerous part, sometimes they'll even create that vulnerable moment for you. They'll push just enough drama into your life, stir up just enough stress, so you're too busy fighting one battle to notice the one they're starting behind your back. Another thing you got to understand is that bad people often operate through other people. They won't always be the ones to hit you directly. They'll get someone else to carry it out, so it never comes back to them. That's why you'll be shocked when you find out the person who hurt you was being influenced by someone you thought was on your side. It's like they're playing chess, moving pieces into place. You're the one who's out here thinking it's checkers. You know what makes them so effective? They're not emotional about it. They're not out here losing sleep, wondering if what they're doing is wrong. They've convinced themselves it's necessary. They've rewritten the story in their own head where they're the one who's justified, where they're the one who had no choice. That's how they can look you in the eye after doing dirt to you and act like nothing happened. That coldness is part of what makes them so dangerous. They can detach from the humanity of the situation. Now, don't get it twisted. Spotting these people isn't about living in paranoia. It's about staying awake. You don't have to walk around suspecting everyone, but you do have to pay attention to patterns. When someone consistently benefits from situations that hurt you, that's not a coincidence. When somebody's words don't match the reality of their actions, that's not an accident. And when somebody keeps you close but never lets you get too close to their real motives, that's a sign. You also gotta stop expecting them to suddenly have a change of heart. Some people will spend their whole life perfecting the art of self-interest. They don't grow out of it. They get better at it. They learn to hide it behind charm, generosity, even kindness. But if you strip away the mask, it's always about them. That's why you can't let history or nostalgia cloud your judgment. Just because someone was there for you once doesn't mean they wouldn't be the same person to take you down later if it served them. And here's something else most people don't see. Bad people are good at keeping you in debt to them. Not always financially, but emotionally. They'll do you a favor, help you out, come through in a tough moment, but it's never free in their mind. That favor is a chip they can cash in later. When the day comes that they need you to do something questionable, they'll pull that card. Remember when I helped you? That's not loyalty. That's leverage. And if you don't recognize it for what it is, you'll feel guilty saying no. This is why you have to build a kind of strength where you're not easily bought. If a person can win your trust with a little help, a little flattery, or a little opportunity, then you're already in danger. Because bad people aren't scared of hurting someone they can control. They're scared of someone they can't influence. That's the person they can't use. That's the person who's not an asset to them. And if you're not an asset, then you're not worth keeping close. And the truth is, the more you achieve, the more you move up in life, the more of these people you're going to encounter. Because the higher you go, the more valuable you become as a piece in someone else's game. If they can't control you, they'll try to neutralize you. And if they can't neutralize you, they'll try to destroy your credibility so you're no longer a threat. That's why you got to move smart. Every word, every action, every connection, treat it like it could be used in a courtroom one day, because with bad people it can, and it will. The point is, you can't stop bad people from existing, but you can stop giving them easy access to you. You can stop letting them know every move you're about to make. You can stop letting them see every weakness you have. You can stop feeding them information they can use to build your downfall. You do that, and suddenly you're not such an easy target anymore.